Hello, this is Archana from Butterfly Queen. This is the midweek session that I do for my subscribers. So let's go ahead. Today I did a SPX put credit spread, which I had to take a small loss in it. So my analysis was in the morning. Pre-market, my analysis was that this is the 50% line of yesterday's candle. So we should probably come and test there because we were pre-market red. So we come here and get bought. So I wanted to sell over here at 41.20, 41.15. That's what I sold. And then even after Europe closed, we were going down. So we just touched the 8-day and bounced. But I had to take the loss because the biggest gamma is 4100 as of now, put gamma. So we could easily flush. The ticks are buried. Okay. So if you look at the ticks, I will show you. So if you look at the ticks, it has been all, we've had negative 1000 and all. Now we are over here. So I took the loss, but now it feels as though my trade would have worked very well. I got some, I was able to sell for 280. So I took $140 loss. I was able to get 140. So it was a loss. Yes. Now let's look at another trades that I have taken. I had taken Meta. Okay, I had taken Meta because it was consolidating and yesterday it rose. So I'm like, okay, if it is high like this, we could easily get to pin 200 for next week. So I had sold 200 call for this week and bought 200 call for next week. But here it also gave up this low 184. So I got stopped out for Meta. Then the next one that I have, and I haven't taken it as yet, is this Boeing. Okay. In the morning, when it was there, it was almost breaking out. And I'm like, if it is breaking out over here, if we can easily pin to 220 next week. So I had a 217.50 to 20 call spread, right? So that is gone. Now, if you look at it, I have this trade journal that I show what it is, all the trades that I have taken. Okay. And this is updated. So this is live. So this is the thing. I have put it for, I started to whatever contracts I do. This is just a trade. As I do it, I post it. So I have started doing this. So everybody knows what's going on. Now, another one that I took was ENPH. So the reason why I took ENPH is because it came here and got sold off pretty bad. So when it gave up to 20, right, I bought thinking that we go back to that 250 area, right? So over here or so when it came, I bought it over here. So now it has not yet worked. But let's see. So I haven't taken this because imagine people who had bought calls were, they were having some issues, right? Not able to take their profits. Everybody were taking their profits. It was inside the expected move, actually. Okay, the move was within the expected move and it got sold off. So anybody who had puts is probably monetizing, and we've reached a support level at this 217, 218. So from here, hopefully it can go higher. So I am keeping it for now. So ENPH, I'm keeping it for now. What else did I take? CMG, my CMG was a bad trade. Now, so the reason why I took CMG, okay, it has been, now if I look at the hindsight, if I look at it, there is so many green days, right? And it had reached a supply zone. But the earnings, right? Earnings could have taken anywhere. If you look at the weekly chart, it had just broken out above this trend line. I'm like, if it has broken out, why can't it go to this supply zone at around this 1850, right? That is the reason I had put a thing there, and it would have been a nice cup and handle or inverse head and shoulders breakout. It would have been nice. So the technicals were there, but it was an earnings trade, so anything can happen in earnings. I was able to get out for 30 cents, which is a miracle. 20 cents actually, which is a miracle because CMG doesn't. Now for now, this is broken. It is broken. It has to get back above the 1660 to 1670 for anything to work. Let's see. It touches this mid Bollinger Band and what it does. Okay. But for now, so that is the reason. If CMG is having an issue, my son eats so much of CMG, right? Chipotle, that I was biased. So then that is the reason I took whatever small profit I had in DPZ. I had an earnings calendar for it. So I got some 30-40 bucks profit. I just took it for DPZ. Now, let's look at the ticks are remaining negative. So I am fine. Another thing that I do is I put here New York FANG. Okay. New York FANG is all the FANGs. So over here, you can see if, any of the FANG stocks are, if most of the FANG stocks are showing strength, we are going to go higher. So this, along with the ticks, is what I use for, of course, I have other internals. So if I look over here, this is an intermarket, but I do this, I look at this daily breadth, which is there in my other screen. So that is what I do. I'm looking at both the NASDAQ and the NYSE tick. I'm looking at the Vol Q and the Vol D. I'm looking at the, that is not only for NYSE, I'm looking for the NASDAQ also over here. I am looking at the McLean oscillator. So I am, I have a cumulative tick also on my thing. So I look at all this to make sure what is going on. And so today everything looks bearish. So if we look at it, right, we are down negative over here in ADD. We are negative. We are always, this just keeps selling off. It can't even get over the 10 EMA, right? It is. So I think we pin at 4,100. So, that is what we do today, at least. That's what I am thinking. So I am really, really happy with the loss that I took, because if I did not take the $140 loss, it would be a $360 loss. If we did not go up on the 0 DT. Now, what else? I took profit in bill, right? Anything that has, right? This was a gap down, pop. It came to the mid Bollinger Band, started getting sold off. I had profit. Market is down. Why not take some profit? So that was bill. Then what else? Anything else that we have discussed about? Crowd, right? Another one that I took, Crowd, based on FTNT results. I took Crowd. Okay. Now, why Crowd and why not ZS or why not FTNT? Because FTNT already ran up 20%. And with the market the way it is, if you look at ZS has run, okay? Crowd has underperformed the sector, right? Crowd has not popped as much as ZS. That is the reason. And ZS has, and Crowd is having this gap. And its earnings is coming up, right? Its earnings is 3rd-7. So maybe we have some time over there. That is the reason I did it. It is not working as of now. So I'm just looking at it, there is, like, for ENPH and CrowdStrike, because of earnings, that the way they, right, because of FTNT, I think it gets bought. And ENPH, because of the earnings, the way it had the kind of profit, I think it gets bought. And that is the reason I am not closing these two for now, even though I'm seeing bearishness. Yes, but I am looking at adding some put hedges. I am looking at probably doing this. Okay, I am probably planning to do some kind of put calendar in IWM. If I have to look at it over here, let's look at a clean chart and let's look at doing the entire analysis. Okay, now this is how I do my analysis. I took a clean chart. Okay, so let me try and get you how I do the fibs. So I take this, okay, from the bottom to the top to the low that we have. Okay, this is now, let's see, this is the extension. We have not gotten anywhere close to the extension. So if this is the low, right? If this is the low, then we have not gotten to the extension. That is my target. Okay, 219.61 is my target. I have taken an extension all the way from here. Now, it doesn't mean that we cannot go down, right? So I'm looking at, this is the whole big cycle. Now let's look at from this low to this high over here. If you look at it, this is the 100% retracement, 100% extension is at 201.71. The weekly 100 week is coming here at 202.54. So I am waiting for it to come here before I get out, before I look for more bearishness. Okay, so we are pretty close to it. We reached yesterday at 199.26. So we are so close to it that I am going to do this. So now let's try and do this for SPY similarly and see where in SPY we are. Okay, if I take the extension from the COVID lows to the highs to the bottom that we had, and are we at least at 3-point extension? No. So for me, that comes to around 447, 448, right? So we are nowhere there. Let's see if we are close to the 236. We are above that. So that is where we are having an issue, right? We came to 23.6 extension over here, and we are finding it difficult to go higher. So I think we have some more. We need to fill this gap. So I don't think this is the extension that we stop at. Okay, that is the reason I don't think we stop at this extension. Coming so close to filling the gap, I think we push higher. So that's one of the reasons that I'm looking at SPY. Now let's look at QQQ. Okay, same thing with QQQ. If I do, okay, the big term. Now I'm right. Let's look at, because QQQ is underperforming, let's see whether we have reached. We reached exactly, where is it over here? Let me change the color so that it is more visible. So let me just change the color so that it's visible. Wow, we came exactly at the extension. Okay, we came exactly at the extension on QQQ. So what am I doing right now? I am doing, again, let's recap. I am doing the entire fib extension. So I have taken the low from the COVID, taken the high, and then gone back to the low and seeing where it can go. Okay, so we have touched the 23.6 extension in the QQQs, and we are having some issues right now. Now, if I look at SPY, we have not gotten there. Okay, SPY, we just got there. Again, SPY also, if I look at it, Okay, SPY, if I look at it, we just got there. That's why we are having an issue. IWM. Okay, IWM, we've gone past the 50 extension. We've come to almost the 100% extension. Okay, and this is confluence, the 100% extension. This, okay, hello, you want to talk? You want to ask any questions? That's fine. Otherwise, I'm just doing all the analysis that I usually do and the trades that I have taken. If that is what you want to go through, that's fine. If you have any questions, please ask. So I'll do, so what I am doing, I'm showing this again. I'll recap. So I am taking from here, okay, coming here and seeing where it can stop. So this is the 100% extension for this big one. No, my mistake. This, I'll click it, so it'll be easy. So for this one, the 3.38.2 extension is coming here at 219 for IWM. So that's my target. Okay, I think we get to this 219 before we have the big sell-off. Okay, but now that we have not yet reached there, so I took this shorter one, this low to high, again this low. We have come to this 100% extension, and we are at this 100-week moving average, which is at 201.71, and this is 202.54. So I'm waiting for it to pop here. This week we may have an inside week in IWM. Next week we can pop here, and that would be the place to short. So I am looking at a short in IWM more so than QQQ, because of the fact that we have, we have not gotten anywhere close, and there are so many people who are off-sized positioned in tech that I think, first we pull back, we at least get to this 330, right? There is a small gap here that it needs to fill. Similarly with SPY, right? There is a gap to fill here, and it has come so close to filling this gap that I think it gets filled. That gap and the 100-week all merge together. So we at least have one pop left before a bigger down move. And I think that happens not before anything and everything. I don't think happens before this OPEX. We are not going to have a big sell-off before this OPEX. Now let's look at the reasons why. Okay, January was up like crazy, right? And those hedges got, all the hedges from last year, the leaps, they got monetized, or they were closed, right? So then because of January, people who were bullish, they started buying February options, correct? Then the February options kept getting added, call options, okay? They kept getting added because we were gapping up on earnings, and we kept going higher. So Feb calls kept coming. Now, the more calls that we buy, that much more the calls that the market maker has to sell, and the higher we go, that much more futures the market maker has to buy. As of now, we are not yet in negative gamma territory. We are in positive gamma territory. So these calls, people will try to get to those calls back again and challenge before we give way. So we are having, next week is going to be important. I think next week on the 14th, we have CPI, and then I think we have VIX expiration also. Right? I think, yeah, 1 minute. Let me see. VIX expiration is 15th February. Yes. So that is the time I want to buy more puts, because we have CPI. Okay. We have CPI on the 14th. We have CPI on the 14th of Feb. Then we have VIX expiration on the 15th. And then we have OPEX, monthly OPEX for all equities on the 17th. Okay. After this, we are, people have sold a lot of VIX calls. because it has not been working. So people have sold a lot of VIX calls. After this day, I want to be bearish. After this day, I want to be bearish. Of course, I already have a hedge because of the CPI, but I want to see what happens with CPI. And then based on CPI, I do not mind adding more and more hedges or more and more puts after this VIX expiration. That is what I want to do. Now, in terms of, FANGs, Microsoft is the one that seems to keep getting bought, right? But it is always this 100-week is finding this. There is a gap here, this weekly gap. Now, if we are going to be, how far is it? Is it 282, 285, right? This gap. Does it go 15 points next week for a pin there? 11 points it is. So yeah, why not, right? So that could be a lotto trade because people don't believe in Google's AI, right? Or whatever. Everybody believes in Satya Nadella so much more. So let's go over here. This is going to be 285 thing. So this is a lotto butterfly that I'm thinking I should do. I have not yet decided. If we recover today and we close above 4150, I am thinking about doing that because Microsoft has 11 points expected move, which means we can get to this gap here, which is 283 to 285, right? So we can easily look for something like over here, right? A butterfly. Let's see how much it would be. Let's try and pin it over here. So I don't want to do it right now. I look for a pullback, okay? And if I can get for a 30, 40 cents butterfly for 280 pin for next week, I would try and do that. So I'm looking for that. That's Microsoft. In terms of Apple, I think we consolidate over here. Let the moving average, this moving average gap between the moving average and the Bollinger Band mid is pretty big. So, we are in consolidation over here. Apple, if we don't break down, I think Apple, we test this 170 easily before March quarter. But we don't know, right? Based on what the rates and dollar are doing, I don't think we go there. So everything is now, I know the dollar is rising, the rates are rising, but dollar is not yet ready to pop. Okay. The reason why I'm saying that the dollar is not ready to pop is if you look at it, okay, this is the trend line that it broke, right? It came back up, now it's testing. Now this is a declining and the decline is steep. It's not yet flattened, right? This is the 55-week moving average that is declining. So we need to at least have it a little bit flattened. Also the upper Bollinger Band is flat. It's not pointing up. The lower Bollinger Band is flat. So we are looking at, because of the Bollinger Band structure and the declining 55-week moving average, I am thinking that we consolidate here for another few days till CPI, right? We have 14th and today is 8th. We have Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, I think 4 or 5 days. We consolidate here. And then based on CPI, we can go up. And if we go up based on CPI, rates are anyway going higher. Rates are anyway going higher. And that's the TNX over here. TNX is the 10-year thing. So over here, this gap up is very important. Very, very important because this happened for the unemployment. As long as we are above this gap, I am looking, even if it, okay, let's think about it, right? if we get bought today and we close over 41.15, it means that before CPI, people want it to go to that 4,200, fill that gap in SPX, right? Which means that we probably come down over here, test this gap before we can skyrocket after CPI and the VIX expiration and options expiration. So this would be the thing. This comes down slowly, gap goes back up. Okay, that's in rates. Similarly, in SPY, then in SPY, we will come up and then come down. That is the 4,200. There is a gap there. So that's what I am looking for. Anything that deviates from this thesis, something is wrong, and I will keep adding more hedges. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. Now, in terms of hedge, I already have CAT as the CAT. Now, the problem is the moment we are looking at, tech selling off, industrials get bought. So, but yesterday when the market was falling, this was fully red. Okay. And if you looked at the weekly also, it was breaking down. Okay. If you look at the weekly, it was breaking down. That is the reason. Okay. It was breaking down. Yesterday, it was breaking down below this 8-week also and testing this lower, right? So I took the bearish trade. Now, where would be my stop? My stop would be 50% of this candle. So my stop over here is going to be 50% of this candle, which is at around 252, 253, right? That's where I'm looking at. If we can get over this, then I will be out of my bearish caterpillar trade. Okay. Now LMT, so safety, right? LMT is going to go higher and I have calls for it. Mainly, I was like, okay, after this Chinese thing, we will have again a buy into all the defense plays. So I bought that and it is still working. Either defense is because of China, we are going to be there, and safety play, people need to hide somewhere. And so that is the reason I am still long this LMT. In terms of, I'm not looking to short the Carvanas or the junk names, okay? Because I'm still not looking to do that because people keep buying this and I don't want to get caught here. So I will be looking for I need to actually work this weekend and come up with a list of any earnings that had gap down. Okay, something like CMG. Okay, CMG on earnings. This earnings, everything was getting bought. Even Pinterest got bought. Even Snap that was down, right? Even Snap that was down in earnings got bought. So I want to make a list of stocks that did not, right? It gapped down on earnings. It recovered the whole thing. So even Snap did that, Pins did that. So anything that has gapped down on earnings and could not recover are going to be my go-to for shorting. That's what I'm looking at. So this is what I have been planning. So let's see. Once I come up with a list, I'll post the list in the feed, okay, private feed. So if you have any other questions, you can ask me, or else I'm done for today and I can post this video. This is getting recorded. Okay. See you then.